It's time for the 2024 Firecracker 50 at CJ Speedway in McDermott. Here's your starting grid. Brian Stubby Rose from Otway and Derek Spencer from Lucasville make up row number 1. In row 2 is Jake Bertussit and Pete Rose. Sean Moore and Mark Hall make up row number 3. In row number 4 is Blake Travis and Travis Bertussit. And in row 5 is Logan Congos and Greg Rose. We are ready to get the Firecracker 50 underway. We are looking at the track from the back straightaways. You can see the flagman across the way, and he's going to show the field the green, and side by side into turn number 1 is going to be Brian Stubby Rose, the pole sitter, and Derek Spencer, the outside pole sitter. They're going to stay side by side all the way around the track for this first lap. So we've got the first 50 in the books, and we've got our first caution coming out as we've got a spin over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. That incident involving Sean Moore in the 00T, as well as Blake Travis in the number 18. So we are set for the restart. It will be Stubby Rose out front in the 8 car, Derek Spencer in the P51 right behind him. Single file restart as the green flag comes back out. Rose is going to lead the field into turn number 1. Then you have those 2 P51 cars. The way to tell the difference, you have Derek Spencer wearing the black helmet. He's currently in 2nd. Jake Bertussit is in the white helmet. He is currently in 3rd. Bertussit owns both of those race cars, and Spencer is actually driving Bertussit's backup. And boy, they are having a good race up front there. Those top 3 nose to tail, those 2 51 cars were looking inside and out. But now we have a caution again, another caution. And we are going to lose our race leader before this next restart. So the 2 P51s go to the front of the field. The green is back out. Your new race leader with the departure of Stubby Rose out of Otway is Derek Spencer. Derek Spencer again in the black helmet out front. He is being followed by the guy who owns his race car, Jake Bertussit, who is in the white helmet. Boy, they have quickly separated themselves from the rest of the field. So the laps continue to click off as now action is pretty well settled down. We do have a battle for position back in the pack, but up front, it's the P51 cars out front. Derek Spencer, he's in a trick chassis, while Jake Bertussit is driving a Charger chassis. Long stretch of green flag action here, the lengthiest green flag run that we have seen so far here at CJ Speedway tonight in McDermott. 2024 Firecracker 50. This go-kart track has quite a bit of banking. We saw that early on, with the front row making the top groove work. Not only does this track have some banking, it looks very, very smooth as well. The track prep crew has done an excellent job. Good battle up front. Derek Spencer trying to hold off Jake Bertussit. The 2 red P51s, the class of the field here in the early going. We have trouble over in turn number 4. The top 2 cars get together as they were trying to pass the lap machine of Logan Congos, and around goes race leader Derek Spencer. He's going to go to the rear of the field. Your new race leader for the restart is Jake Bertussit. He is up front now. So can Derek Spencer work his way through all that traffic and make up all that real estate to try to once again contend for the lead? That is going to be a chore if he is able to do it. Jake Bertussit becomes the 3rd leader of this race. Early on, it was Brian Stubby Rose out of Otway. Then he departed, handing the lead over to Derek Spencer. Then Spencer and Bertussit, not that long ago, got together, bringing out a caution. Spencer went to the tail. Bertussit went to the lead. That is where Jake Bertussit rides now, as he will try to fend off all competitors to the finish to win the Firecracker 50. The track looks really, really fast. All the drivers doing a very good job of keeping their carts straight. You don't want to fishtail these things or you'll lose all your momentum. Again, this track looks super. We were talking about the banking a little bit earlier, but it looks very, very smooth as well. Beautiful night here in McDermott for this Firecracker 50. Got Spencer working his way up through the field. Contact made there. Don't know if the driver he passed cared too much for that, but Spencer gets by and he'll continue to try to march his way forward. He's still got a long ways to go though. Bertussit continues to set the pace in the P51. Making his way through turns 1 and 2, heading down the back straightaway. And there's Derek Spencer making his way off the number 2 turn. Here's a pass up front as race leader Bertussit goes to the inside of Congos, putting him a lap down. Side-by-side action on back in the field. We really didn't get a chance to go over the entire starting grid in detail before the green flag dropped. So again, it was Brian Stubby Rose from Otway in the 8 car, the white open-wheeled cart, a Rage chassis. He was your pole sitter and he led early on. Derek Spencer from Lucasville in the red and white P51, a trick chassis. He was the outside pole sitter. Jake Bertussit from McDermott, who is the current leader. He started 3rd on the grid. He's driving a Charger chassis. Pete Rose started on the outside of row number 2. He was in the silver number 1 with purple, a black helmet. He's driving an Ultramax chassis. Sean Moore from McDermott is in the 00T. That's a silver cart with white lettering. It's an Epic chassis. Mark Hall from West Portsmouth is in the P76. Blake Travis from Lancaster is in the 18. He's in an Ultramax chassis. Travis Bertucci from Lucasville in the 15. He's in a PRC chassis. Logan Congos from Lucasville is in the 21K. That's a slack chassis. And Greg Rose from McDermott, he started this race in the R12. That's an Ultramax chassis. Now, we've lost several of those drivers, but the majority of the field is still there. And right now, the class of this field is the P51, driven by the driver in the white helmet, Jake Bertucci. He continues to lead the way. Firecracker 50 from CJ Speedway in McDermott. Eric Spencer trying to work his way up through the field. He's back in the top 5. The 00T of Sean Moore is a driver we probably haven't spoken near as much about as what we should have. He's had a good, clean run. Logan Congos is one of the few drivers out there trying to work the high line. You usually don't see a high groove in go-kart racing, but if there's a track that could potentially allow for it, CJ Speedway might very well be that track. But for the most part, most of the drivers have settled to the inside here. Very, very good race so far. Good, clean race. Couple early cautions. Here's a gaggle of traffic as Derek Spencer works lap jeans. He looked to the inside of Congos there and made that pass. And now Derek Spencer's not done just yet, or at least he doesn't want to be. He's trying to get past some more cars. Up front, though, Jake Bertucci, he is pretty well sitting by himself. He's got some room behind him, some room in front. Not getting a lot of pressure at the moment. Pretty well dominating the Firecracker 50 tonight as the laps continue to tick away. Action is starting to heat up a little bit, though, for the race leader. He's caught the tail end of the lead lap. He's got a couple slower cars right in front of him that he's going to have to contend with, and he'll do that as he races his way into turn number 1. He'll look to the inside, going down the back straightaway, trying to make that pass, but the slower traffic is making that very difficult on him. Boy, now it's getting very interesting for Bertucci. He looks to the inside of one of the slower cars. They'll go door to door and wheel to wheel, and it will be Bertucci making that pass, going down the front straightaway and into turn number 1. Now he's got 2 slower cars behind him as well as 2 slower cars in front of him. He can't afford to make a mistake here. If he cracks the throttle, he could get tagged from behind. Right now, Bertucci looks to the inside of Congos. He will make the pass of both of those slower cars going into turn number 3, and he will clear them on corner number 4, and that right there might be the move that secures the victory for Jake Bertucci out of McDermott. And what a move it was. Man, oh man, to maneuver his way through those 4 slower cars in the manner in which he did, very impressive. And even though he's gotten by them, he's not running off and pulling away from the field. That looks to be the silver cart of Sean Moore, who is right there in his tire tracks. And Bertucci hold him off to the finish. What a nice race this has been. We started with 10 drivers, racers from Otway, Lucasville, McDermott, West Portsmouth, and as far away as Lancaster. Track still very racing. Derek Moore not giving up without a fight. Derek Moore cuts to the inside. Makes a pass going into turn number 3 and secures that pass off corner number 4 going down the front straightaway. Jake Bertucci, meanwhile, clean and green in front of him. He shouldn't have to contend with another driver before we get to the end of this one. Jake Bertucci off corner number 4 for the final time. The checkered flag will fly, and Jake Bertucci from McDermott wins the 2024 Firecracker 50 at CJ Speedway. Checking your feature results, while Bertucci gets the victory, Sean Moore in the 00T out of McDermott places as the runner-up. Derek Spencer, after being sent to the tail after being involved in an early race accident, fought his way all the way back up to 3rd place. Nice drive. Blake Travis in the number 18 comes home 4th. Pete Rose in the 1 machine rounds out the top 5. Finishing 6th is Mark Hall in the P76, and Logan Congos in the 21K rounds out the field of the 7 cars left running. We started with 10, we finished with 7, and Jake Bertucci again is your feature winner.